Ava, there are plenty of protesters who are still out here waving signs regardless of that ban being passed. And as you can hear right now, even cars are honking in support. The roads have been shut down ever since I've been here. Trying to get here was actually quite a mess. And I was trying to look at how far I am from Coach Road right now. When I parked, it was about a mile away from where I had parked. But right now, it's showing me that I would have to drive all the way on I-10 around. According to Colorado State University, having your child just read 4 to 5 books a summer can help keep them from experiencing that summer slide. Based on the results of our records request to Wakulla County Schools, the complaint made to Riverside Elementary School was resolved actually in October of last year. It only came to light because of a records request that the Florida Freedom to Read Project made public several days ago. This is the inaugural Bluesberry Festival, and that's not a slip of the tongue. It's literally called the Bluesberry Festival because it combines blueberries, blues, and brews. And I'm here with the interim city manager for the city of Valdosta, Richard Hardy, if you want to come on camera here. What can people expect here this weekend? When I was speaking to some of the rescues today, they were saying inflation isn't necessarily the focus for them. If anything, it's vet bills that are adding up for them, especially for Champ's Chance, a dog rescue in Quincy, who says they're mainly funded by donations. Well, Ava, there's a lot of vendor tents already set up, as you can see behind me, and you can see these little red bags around the parking meters. Those are no parking signs. So if you have plans to come down here tonight, where you normally park might not be where you can actually park. When someone goes missing, every minute counts. Margaret Summers, who's a paraprofessional at Griffin Middle School, knows this. That's why she's trying to get the word out about her student, 12-year-old Lori Page.
I feel like after 14 days, there has to be at least one adult who has seen her or has an idea where she may have gone.
Lori is considered a missing runaway and was last seen on June 3rd near the 1200 block of Continental Court, which is close to Ocala Road and less than a mile away from Mission Sam Lewis. Rudy Ferguson, pastor for New Birth Tabernacle of Praise in Griffin Heights, doesn't know Lori personally, but he says in his position it's important to help the community any way he can.
We ought to be her family. We ought to look for her consistently until she's safe and sound. I think it's incumbent upon the churches as well in the neighborhood because that's why we're there. We're in the community not just for spiritual growth, but also to be a voice.
Summers says Lori has run away before, but she's always been found within a few days.
I'm hoping that if nothing else, that Lori will come to the school. She knows she's safe there. She knows that people care about her there. And we're in summer school, so she can come there any day, Monday through Thursday.
Pastor Ferguson forwarded Lori's missing person bulletin to the Frontline Pastors Action Council, which is made up of about 26 pastors.
We're going to keep searching. We're going to keep making phone calls. We're going to keep putting her bulletin out there. We're going to keep doing it until she's safe and sound, until we have some type of results.
Summers says Lori's teachers and friends are concerned, and they're just hoping she'll come back.
If we can find Lori, we can hopefully find her a mentor, so next time she faces struggles, she can talk to her mentor and not feel like she has to run away.
And her message for Lori if she's watching.
Lori, you're a great student and a great kid, and there's nothing that you haven't done well enough. Just come back.
That's what we're seeing in a lot of districts is one parent complains, and because of all the rhetoric, the err on the side of caution and, you're threatened with a third-degree felony, or you could lose your teaching license.
The most recent district to have a book ban or book removal come to light is Wakulla County. Though the removal of the graphic novel The Little Rock Nine from Wakulla Elementary Schools was resolved in October of last year. The Florida Freedom to Read Project made a records request and posted about the removal of the book on their Twitter several days ago. Reagan Miller, director of development for the group, says they do believe in parental rights, but not when it impedes on the decisions of other parents.
I understand the language is harsh, but it is history, and it was not part of the curriculum. It was simply a book in the library, and if you exercise your parental rights that way and ask that your child just opt out of the library instead of removing access for all children.
Jessica Compton is the parent who filed the complaint to Riverside Elementary School. I asked for an interview, but she did not want to go on camera. She did send me a statement saying that she said she read Little Rock Nine by Marshall Poe after her 9-year-old stated her library book had profanity in it. She felt the book was inappropriate for her age. The inappropriate comment included racial slurs in the book. The book chronicles 9 African Americans, the first group of students to desegregate Little Rock Central High School in the 50s. Assistant Superintendent Sonny Chansey sent me this statement saying in part, the outcome of the review for the book in question was the recommendation to move the book from elementary school to a grade level deemed more appropriate. This does not constitute a ban, as WCSB students will still have the opportunity to read the book during their K-12 experience. Miller says for parents that are frustrated with book bans and removals, the best thing they can do is speak up.
The majority of people want their children to have access to information, and no one is advocating for pornography. We just want our kids to have access to information and be able to read freely in a library.
The sound of those shoes coming out of a plastic shopping bag sounds like any other shopping trip. 10-year-old Monica Holden was with her grandmother Mary Holder when she saw those shoes on clearance. She decided she wanted to use her own allowance money to buy those shoes, but not for herself.
We were shopping for laundry soap, and she's like, oh my God, they're only $1. And I said, well, none of them's going to fit you. And she's like, but they'll fit a lot of people. And I was like, oh, get as many as you want.
Holder posted a picture of her granddaughter with the nearly 15 pairs of shoes she bought in the Living Tallahassee Facebook group, asking for recommendations on where to donate them. She decided on Making Miracles group home, which helps homeless women get back on their feet. Deborah Harris, director for Making Miracles, describes what she felt when Monica and her grandmother showed up with all those shoes.
This little girl comes up and just say, hey, this is what I have. I'm going to take my money and buy shoes, you know. It was amazing.
Harris shares what it meant to see a young girl do such a selfless act.
To think about it, it's just an awe, like all in all, because it's like this is a little child, you know, where she probably could be at home jumping rope, playing with dolls, and but she actually want to do something for another person and really don't know them.
When I asked Monica about spending the money on the shoes for other people, as opposed to spending it on things for herself like ice cream, she says donating the shoes will stick with her for much longer.
Those things are like memories, and they last longer than something like ice cream or earrings or a toy, because you can easily just lose that toy and those earrings, and you could just eat that ice cream and it just goes away.
Monica shares her advice for other kids her age.
Always choose kindness, and if you don't always have to receive what you give. You don't always have to receive if you give.
A lesson she learned from her grandmother.
I'm floored that she would even say that. I try to help as much as possible, and I always tell all the kids to choose kindness. Always.